Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Jules Leyhe with Guitar and Camera. Today we're going to talk about the essence of B.B. King. Boy, so B.B. King, one of my all-time favorite bluesmen, one of the most important bluesmen of all time. I've got to meet him probably a good 14 years ago at this point. He was so cool. My dad and I got to hang out in his tour bus after a show here in the Paramount Theater in Oakland. And we hung out with him for maybe 45 minutes or so. And I had played with Buddy Guy at that point. So we told him the story and he was very encouraging to me. He encouraged me to keep playing and just keep working hard. And although it was a short encounter, it was definitely a really, really wonderful experience. And he was nothing but a total gentleman and a sweetheart to me. So I think that's the story you generally hear about BB, which is really wonderful. As far as his guitar playing style, there are certainly a few elements that are really great to understand about what kind of makes him sound like him and not somebody else. I want to break down a couple of his tunes and talk about those things that happen. Probably the most important iconic song of B.B. King's is The Thrill Is Gone, which is in the key of B minor. And it's kind of funny because B.B. has like a sweet sort of sound that he uses most of the time when he's playing. But being in minor doesn't stop him any. It just sort of changes how some of his notes and maybe like the scale choices that he's using are for that tune. So like I said, we're in B minor. So we can totally use our B minor pentatonic. So in this case, we're in B minor. We can use the B minor pentatonic scale. Or we can use blues scale, right? They're the same thing, just adding one note. The cool thing about this is that BB's, like if you listen to the recording, he's just gonna play the blues scale. He goes like this, he goes. Super simple. This is a great song to learn if you're just trying to learn blues tunes that are called at gigs or called at jams. The Thrill Is Gone is a great one to learn, and his all of his guitar playing is pretty. I don't know. It's not Mount Olympus as far as like difficulty. It's easy to actually pick out the notes. So he's just playing the pentatonic scale, focusing on things like bending. You know, BB plays one note, and you just go, "It's BB King. I just know it." A lot of the time that's just because of the vibrato that he uses. I'll talk about that in just a sec. But I think as far as bending strings is concerned, make sure that when you're bending your strings, you're bending them in tune. If you're bending up to a note and then giving it vibrato, this is something that's super duper important to make sure that you have sounding really good. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Thrill Is Gone, B minor, right? This is what I want you to try to think about and focus on when you're bending strings and adding vibrato. So I'm bending the A note at the 10th fret up to the 12th fret to a B. And then once I'm there, I'm adding vibrato on the note like this. So you have to bend up. Keep it there, make sure that you're bending to the correct pitch, and then you add a little bit of vibrato, okay? This is gonna take a while. At first it might sound and feel like this, like but I swear, if you just do it slow and steady, hold your bent notes. Holding your bent notes is like, we are exercising our fingers. So it would be like holding a rep of some exercise you're doing. I don't know which one specifically. You do the exercise and hold your reps, okay? But anyway, there's no shortcut to getting that to sound like how you want it to sound. Holding your notes and then adding a little vibrato is the way to go. Now you can do that on any bent note. So you could go. And and you can be really expressive with it if you get control over your fingers, like this. You know, some notes are a little more uneven, some are held out, some I can really exaggerate the vibrato if I want. Or I can make it like long. You know, like a weeping, I don't know, like that's all coming from right here. So that's what, when I hear The Thrill Is Gone, there's all sorts of space to express yourself using some of those techniques, okay? As far as BB's solo and everything on that song, it's pretty simple, like I just said. So if you want to transcribe it, I think that's a good one to start using your ear, pick out some of the notes and go for it. Like I said, it's not Mount Olympus. This is not some crazy, this isn't like Giant Steps by John Coltrane or something. This is pretty doable. So that's The Thrill Is Gone, which is in B minor. I want to switch and talk about some of BB's other great parts of his playing that we really love. I want to switch to his record, The Live at the Regal, is one of my favorites. This one is definitely one of his most famous recordings. His banter with the crowd is wonderful. The band is awesome. And BB's just one heck of a storyteller and showman. And he's hanging out a lot up in, the band does this thing where they ascend by a half step through the tunes. So he'll start one song and he goes, and then the next tune he goes. So I love when they hang out in D flat. In this case, that's our 9th fret. Right? And when he does the tunes in D flat, it's just my opinion. It's just wonderful. His playing, they hang out there for, I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 songs or what, but anyway, here's a trick and kind of like the B.B. King thing where tons of his licks fall under your fingers. I want to show you this. Key of D flat. And what we want to do is, the trick to sounding like B.B. King really is that you want to play your D flat with your index finger on the B string at the 14th fret. Okay? So when we're playing minor, like we have our index finger, not 100% of the time, but just when we're thinking of positions, like on guitar, D flat, minor, 9th fret, right? Well, we're going to find this major sort of happy B.B. King zone if we slide in to the 14th fret B string with your index finger. And now what we get is we get this little box here. And this box is G string, 15th fret, and then up to the B string, 14th fret for the root. We get our ring finger on the 16th fret, and what you can do here is, this is the note that wants to be bent, right? So this is already kind of sounding like B.B. King. If you slide into the 15th fret and that G string, and then play 14 like this, watch this. See how this is like total BB zone? He just hangs out all night and plays these sorts of licks. So I'm gonna just be quiet for a sec, and I want the licks to do some of the talking. I want you to just listen to and watch my fingers and see if I'm doing the BB thing. And I'll break down a couple of these licks specifically, but this is kind of the magic BB King zone. So let's listen to this for a sec. All right, so those are just a handful of, BB King isms. And you can see the coolest thing about this is that once your hand is anchored right here at that 14th fret, you don't have to look. All these notes, like I'm not moving east, west, north, south. I am just staying right here. And you can do that. It's nice to build your solos, not just moving all over the place and like searching for your notes. It's great to just hang out in a zone and develop ideas. So that's something that BB he can really just play one note over and over. He does this a lot. He'll go. Right? I'm not working too hard, playing anything too fancy. It's all just kind of right under the fingers right here. So I'd experiment with that if you want to get into the BB King thing. Okay, that's a great zone to check out. So of all the bluesmen, BB King is up there on our Mount Olympus of all-time greats. That's for sure. Especially just back from the day of like a band where there's like a full-on band with a conductor, and then BB's out. He's part of the band, of course, but he's kind of like the centerpiece, the showman, the one putting on the show. Of that era of type of band, he's really one of the all-time greats. So definitely go back and check out all BB King's stuff. I would love to know what in this video helped. If you have any questions about what I talked about, please let me know in the comments. I want to just be able to answer any questions. Any feedback is appreciated. So hope you appreciated this video. Hope you learned something. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're going to have all sorts of performance videos, lessons, appreciations of our heroes, and everything in between. So hopefully you like this, and stay tuned for more videos, and I will catch you next time.